I'm so excited to talk to about this movie. First of all, I have to gush about how great you are in it. You're so good.
Thanks.
It's so cool to see how you've evolved Wanda from angsty teen to powerful to sitcom mom, and now we're scary.
Yeah.
And as an actor, how has it been to evolve this character over so much time through so many genres? And do you have a favorite version of her?
I mean, it's been a ride that I didn't expect. I was really, I got, comfortable just taking up a lane and showing just like a couple colors of her, and it just helping the story and this film as a whole. And then WandaVision, I got to be all the colors of all the rainbows. That was an amazing opportunity, but also an amazing opportunity to remember playfulness and being able to fail. And there's such a freedom that we had while filming that has informed me now in how I approach her. And so to be with this film, I was at first when I heard, I was like, really? We do WandaVision and then we do that. But that said, I think it was an incredible opportunity to have an audience for 7 hours on her side and then throw her into a journey where you could potentially question her, where she's coming from. And I really had a great time trying to create an evolution of her and her power and her acceptance and confidence of who she was meant to be, and that informing her decision making. And then with Sam, we were always trying to go back to find her humanity even through it. And so it was a fun line to split between.
Awesome. And I consider myself the captain of the Wanda Defense Squad. I've got a tattoo.
Yeah.
Yes. And so she's never done anything wrong. She never will do anything wrong. But were you worried that people might change their minds in terms of how they perceived her?
I think the thing that I worry about is when people start saying, is she a role model to children?
Oh.
And and I don't like answering that question at all, because she is a woman who's made big mistakes. And I don't want to think of her as a role model encouraging kids to make similar violent mistakes.
That's great. Yeah.
The only thing that worries me is like, she became this thing that even little kids loved. And then we're really pushing it with this film.
Oh.
So that's the one thing where I'm like, I don't want to answer role model questions.
That's real. I hadn't thought about that. And that's a great point. And so there's still a lot of comics, areas to grow for Wanda. And, I believe she is alive and well. And I have a visual aid. A personal favorite is the James Robinson comic. And I'd love to see Wanda in that kind of post-trauma era.
Yeah.
Is that something that you'd like to see? Do you have any kind of dream future for her?
I don't.
Okay.
I think fans usually have the best ideas, and I genuinely don't know where we go from here and what the limitations are of the MCU, because I don't follow what their plans are.
Of course.
I feel like the fans always know what the plans are even when they're not announced. And so I do have this image. There are a few images in my head of I think they're from Witch's Row, as she's like aging and decaying while using her power. And there's something in that this like older woman who's aging from her power that I'm interested in. And I don't really know what that means, but I kind of would love to be old.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to see that. That's awesome. And White Vision is still out there. Are you rooting for some kind of rekindled romance, or should we? Okay, great. Yeah, that's it.
I always want to be reunited with Paul Bettany. painted faces.
Who wouldn't? Amazing. I love that. And finally, real quick, I just want I have to bring up that I recently watched one of my old favorite VHS tapes, The Case of the Thorn Mansion, which is the introducing Lizzie Olsen credit. And I have to ask, did you think back then that you'd one day become a superhero?
No. Not at all. I think I wanted to be like, I at that time, I thought Frank Sinatra wasn't an old man of a different time. I wanted to like play opposite him in a musical. That was like my biggest dream as a little girl.
Wow, I wish that could have happened.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. The movie is amazing. I've already seen it twice, and I can't wait to go again.
Thank you. Cool.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.